and welcome back to the I Made My Mark podcast. Today we have Sidnie with us to share a little bit about their JMU story. Sidnie, tell us about yourself.
Sure, thank you, Megan. Like she said, my name is Sidnie Baker. I'm a senior biology major, and I'm from Fredericksburg, Virginia.
Awesome. And Sidnie, where have you made your mark around campus?
Yeah, so I'm in the alternative break program, and I started as a leader, and I'm now a coordinator. I was a 2020 frog for orientation, and then throughout my time at JMU, I've been in like so many different organizations, like Madison Recycling. I was the fundraising coordinator for A Moment of Magic. I was in Swing Dance Club way back freshman year, so lots of different.
That's awesome. It seems like you've really kind of seen all the different things that you might like and tried to get involved in those.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Well, if you could describe JMU in one word after all of your experiences, what would it be and why?
Yeah, so I think I would describe JMU as home, which I know is such a cliche answer, but it's really true. I was just talking to a friend yesterday about how crazy that for the past 4 years, JMU's been my home. I know the best times to park on campus. I know, where the best study spot is. I know my favorite places to watch the sunset and kind of where to go, which is definitely East Campus. And so now as a senior, with graduation, quickly approaching and everything, it's just coming to an end and it's so bittersweet. So I would definitely say JMU is home.
Yeah, definitely. East Campus sunsets are the best,
Yeah,
hands down.
definitely. Yep.
And kind of going off of that, after all this knowledge that you've had about JMU and all of your experiences, what do you think is the biggest myth about JMU and what's the reality on campus?
Yeah, so I think the biggest myth I would say about JMU is since, like I said, it's such a big school, a lot of people I think before coming here that you can kind of get swallowed whole and become, a small fish in a big pond and kind of just be overwhelmed by the amount of people here. But I don't think that's the case at all. I always tell people that JMU is a big school with a small school feel. You can always kind of find some sort of connection to someone, whether that's like taking a class together or living in the same building at some point throughout JMU, or even like a friend of a friend. In a weird way, you're always kind of connected to someone. So that's just kind of very comforting. And you always find, a connection within student works too. So it's just a good kind of weird thing.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree that once you kind of find your people or your area, JMU feels so much smaller.
Yeah, definitely.
And throughout people's college careers, a lot of different things happen. I know we've all been impacted by COVID, of course, but there are other challenges too. How has your JMU experience challenged you to grow or adapt?
Yeah, so I'm a part of JMU's alternative break program, which I mentioned, and that's definitely challenged, my leadership, but also kind of challenged my ideas and perspectives, that I had coming into JMU. So if you're not familiar with that, alternative breaks are where a group of like 10 to 12 students, including like 2 student leaders and a faculty or staff learning partner, spend their fall and spring breaks working with organizations across the country, which is kind of cool, engaging in service throughout that week, and connecting with the community that they're a part of, and just kind of, reflecting on their experiences and the social issues that are, at hand in that environment. So with all of that being said, on my first alternative spring break to Cumberland Island, Georgia in 2020, so way back when, I learned so much about the environment and my impacts and kind of how meaningful and important service and, continuing volunteering is. It truly just, really, I learned a lot about myself within that new experience. You meet so many new people and they all come from different backgrounds. And so I've now, I guess, been on 5 or 6 breaks throughout my time at JMU. And so every time I learn something new about myself, just with everyone around me and kind of in the new environment. And so that first experience, led me to become a leader. And then I also, I'm now a coordinator for the alternative breaks. And so I help leaders plan and prepare for their breaks. And so all of that just has really challenged me with my leadership and, really caused me to grow and kind of how to like mentor people and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. And not to put you on the spot, but what's your favorite break that you've ever been on?
So I just went to the Great Smoky Mountains this past spring break. I think that was my favorite one just because one, it was my last one. So of course I really had to like make my mark, I guess, even on that. And it was just so rewarding. And it was also like I had a lot of they're freshmen on the break and sophomores, and so I was kind of the older one, and so I kind of could impart my knowledge, I guess, on the break. And it was also just really cool to learn about the environment and the impact that we make. You know, when we did a lot of trail maintenance, which was really cool. So that was definitely my favorite one.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. And kind of going off the point that you mentioned about mentoring younger students, if you could give any piece of advice to some underclassmen, what would it be and why?
Yeah, I love this question. I think that JMU offers so many, great and unique experiences, especially like the alternative break program and everything.
Mhm.
So I just say try anything and everything. You know, as a first year, I mentioned that I was in swing dance club. Do I have a rhythmic bone in my body? Absolutely not. But I still did it and met, amazing people, and I learned a new skill. And now it's just a random fun fact that I have that I know how to swing dance.
Yeah.
And so like UREC offers, cool workout classes and adventures and even just different clubs around the school. And there's just kind of a little bit of everything at JMU. So I say just try it all out. If you don't like it, at least you can say that you tried it.
Yeah, that's definitely such a good point. I think a lot of people are scared to kind of put themselves out there and they're like, what if I'm not good at it? But just like you said, you don't have to have rhythm to join swing dance club. You just
Exactly.
have to want to try.
Yeah. And you always meet great, like, really cool people that you never would have otherwise. So, definitely just try everything out.
Yeah, that's great advice. Thank you. And just throughout your Madison experience, you've made your mark in a bunch of different places, but overall, what do you think that your mark on JMU is going to be? And, when people think of Sidnie, years down the line, what do you want them to think about?
Sure. It's such like a sad question that I'm leaving and everything, but I think my mark on Madison would be hopefully the impact that I made through the alternative break program. I was a participant way back in 2020, and I really just tried to get more involved as the years went on. And so I hope that people kind of look back and she was like, oh, she really was involved, alternative breaks and service, and she was very service oriented. And being a coordinator this year, I really tried to help leaders, grow as people, not only just on their breaks, but just, within kind of themselves. And so I hope that I just made a lasting impact on the alternative break program, and just hopefully people remember me through that.
Awesome. I can definitely see that just throughout your commitment that I think that's something that's really going to come true for you. But thank you so much, Sidnie, for sharing your story with us today. I hope that all of our listeners get to learn something amazing from you about just, taking chances and really, pouring into experiences that matter to you. And we just want to thank you so much here at the Student Leadership Center for joining us today. We wish you the best of luck in your future, and we hope you know that your JMU family is always going to be here to support you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Of course. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye.